The city's breath, a restless sigh seeped through your window, a constant reminder of the world you no longer belong to. You traced the rim of the cold mug, the ceramic slick against your thumb, its emptiness a mirror to the quiet void within. Dust motes danced in the sliver of afternoon sun that dared to penetrate the drawn blinds, illuminating the suspended particles of your isolation. This was your sanctuary now, a sparse apartment overlooking the indifferent concrete canyons, far removed from the urgent clamor of sirens and the frantic glow of crime scene lights that once defined your existence. A ghost of a tremor, not of fear, but of an old, unwelcome certainty stirred within your bones. It had been years since the stain of the Holt case, the one that splintered your career and fractured your trust in the very system you swore to uphold. The memory, a shard of ice, still pricked at your consciousness, a constant sentinel of your disgraced status. You had seen the patterns then, whispers of a deeper current, but your voice had been drowned out by the tide of public outrage and official dismissal. The low hum of the television, a dull companion, offered a fleeting distraction. A local news broadcast flickered across the screen, a reporter's voice tight with manufactured urgency. The image shifted to a sleek, imposing structure of glass and steel. "Breaking news," the reporter declared, her voice echoing in the quiet room. The disappearance of prominent financier Mr. Elias Thorne has sent shockwaves through the city's elite circles. You felt a familiar pull, a subtle tightening in your gut, a visceral response to the word disappearance. It was a word that had once ignited a fierce purpose within you, now only a dull ache. You watched, detached, as the reporter detailed the last known movements of the vanished man. His car, an expensive model, had been found unlocked and abandoned mere blocks from his office. No forced entry, no struggle, just gone. Then the reporter pointed to the imposing building behind her. Mr. Thorne was last seen entering this very location, an offshore law office with shred bins and locked safes, yesterday afternoon. It wasn't just an office. It was a fortress of secrets, a place where information was meticulously controlled, erased, and guarded. This detail, coupled with the victim's profile, a financier, a man of power and influence, began to form a vague, unsettling silhouette in your mind. But it was the next piece of information that truly snagged you, pulling you from your detached observation into a sudden, icy focus. The reporter, almost as an afterthought, mentioned a peculiar discovery at Thorne's desk, untouched by the subsequent police sweep. Investigators found a small, meticulously carved wooden bird, specifically a peregrine falcon, placed precisely in the center of his otherwise cleared workspace. An unusual detail, given Mr. Thorne's known aversion to personal effects in his professional environment. A peregrine falcon. Your breath hitched. The sound was swallowed by the sudden roar in your ears, a rush of blood and memory. A peregrine falcon. Not just a bird, but that bird. You pushed yourself from the armchair, the sudden movement jarring your stiff muscles. Your eyes, once dulled by resignation, now held a sharp, dangerous glint. The image of a similar carving, a hawk, then an owl, each found at the scene of other vanishings, long-forgotten cases you'd studied in the quiet hours of your disgraced retirement, flashed through your mind. Incidents dismissed as unrelated, as bizarre coincidences, by those who couldn't see the thread. You had felt it. This wasn't just a disappearance, it was a signature. You moved to a dusty bookshelf, pulling out a thick leather-bound journal, its pages filled with your own frantic scrawl, your personal archive of the unseen. Your fingers, once hesitant, now moved with a determined urgency. You flipped past scribbled theories, forgotten names, and the bitter notes of your professional demise until you found the section marked Anomalies. There, beneath the date of a case that had haunted your every waking moment, was a crude sketch of a small carved bird. You remembered the scorn, the dismissive looks from the detective who had taken over your last active case, the way your theories were met with an indulgent shake of the head. "Marcus," he had said, his voice dripping with condescension, "you're seeing ghosts. It's just a weirdo, not some grand design." But it was a grand design. The peregrine falcon, the high-profile target. It all clicked into a nascent, terrifying whole. A powerful, clandestine organization. The phrase formed in your mind, not as a wild conjecture, but as a grim, inevitable truth. Until now. You closed your eyes, taking a deep, shuddering breath. The air tasted of dust and old paper, but beneath it, a new scent, sharp and metallic, seemed to prickle your senses. The scent of a hunt. You were disgraced, isolated, and a pariah in the world you once served. But you were also Marcus Holt, and you were the only one who saw the pattern. The game had begun, and whether you wanted to or not, you were already in it. The city, a sprawling beast of glass and concrete, exhaled its humid breath into the nascent dawn. You stood at your window, the phantom chill of your revelation still clinging to your skin. The peregrine falcon, its predatory grace, now a specter haunting your periphery. It was the only thing you had left after the ignominious fall. Your reputation, a tattered banner, preceded you, a ghost in every hallway you once commanded. But this unseen connection felt like a current beneath the city's surface, a dangerous hum only you seemed to perceive. Your first move was not a call to a former colleague, nor a plea to the system that had discarded you. It was a silent pilgrimage. You needed to see the node, the nexus of this vanishing act. Hours bled into one another. You watched the ebb and flow of tailored suits and hurried briefcases. Your eyes, honed by years of sifting through urban detritus, scanned for an anomaly, a ripple in the mundane. Most saw a high-rise office building. You saw a vault. You noted the precise timing of the armored car's daily arrival, the casual wave exchanged between its driver and the security guard. You observed the single unlit window on the 7th floor, slightly ajar, even on this cool morning. An oversight or a deliberate signal. A memory stirred. The second disappearance. A flamboyant financier known for his love of exotic birds. He vanished from his penthouse, leaving behind only a single, perfectly preserved peregrine feather on his antique mahogany desk. The official report dismissed it as a bizarre, unrelated detail. But your mind, Marcus, now saw the thread. Later, as the sun dipped, painting the skyline in hues of bruised purple, you saw him. A detective, a junior officer from your old precinct, emerged from the law office, his face a mask of weary frustration. He spotted you, your presence a familiar, unwelcome silhouette. "Holt," he grunted, the name a stone skipping across ice. "Still chasing ghosts?" You met his gaze, unflinching. "Some ghosts leave feathers, don't they, officer?" He scoffed, a short, sharp sound. "We're investigating a missing person, Marcus, not an avian enthusiast's bad luck. This is a legitimate business. Everything's above board. Records are clean, shred bins are full of boilerplate, safes are locked tight. Nothing to see here." He gestured vaguely at the imposing structure. "Move along." But his words, "Shred bins are full of boilerplate," resonated. Boilerplate. Standard, generic documents. But what if the absence of something specific was the clue? What if the boilerplate was a cover for what wasn't there? You stayed, long after the detective's patrol car vanished, long after the last office light flickered out. The unlit window on the 7th floor remained ajar. And then, a flicker. Not a light, but a movement. It was too quick, too fleeting to be certain, but your gut tightened. Someone was inside, long after closing. The night deepened. Your eyes, accustomed to the gloom, caught it then. It wasn't part of the building's original design. It was small, no bigger than your thumb, a stylized depiction of an eye, almost hidden within a swirl of abstract lines. You remembered the first disappearance, the architect, meticulous to a fault. His studio, when you'd unofficially visited years ago, had a similar, almost identical symbol etched into a custom-made paperweight on his desk. At the time, you dismissed it as a quirky design choice, a personal emblem. The peregrine, the eye. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a signature. You knew, with a bone-deep certainty, that you were no longer merely observing. You were being watched in return. The absence, that was it. Not what was in the bins, but what wasn't. The routine, the expected, that which masked the exceptional. Your fingers, calloused from years of gripping cold steel and colder facts, brushed against the cool, brushed aluminum of a bin. It was a silent sentinel, its contents a confetti of forgotten details. Most were filled with the predictable detritus of corporate life. Old invoices, draft contracts, marketing proposals. Your eyes, sharpened by a decade of sifting through the mundane for the malignant, found a rhythm in the chaos. You moved with the deceptive languor of a predator, observing the rhythms of the office. The junior clerk, immersed in a spreadsheet, oblivious. The senior partner, behind frosted glass, a silhouette of power. You noticed the subtle shifts, the way a cleaning crew member lingered a beat too long by a certain bank of filing cabinets, the almost imperceptible flicker of a security camera in the corner of your peripheral vision. These were the whispers of a world you knew intimately, a world of carefully constructed facades. Your focus narrowed to the shred bins near the back, where the more sensitive documents might be disposed of. The air there felt heavier, charged with a subtle tension that only you seemed to perceive. One bin in particular caught your attention. Its lid was slightly ajar, a small oversight in an otherwise meticulously maintained environment. A sliver of paper, untouched by the shredder's teeth, clung stubbornly to the edge, a forgotten memory resisting erasure. You waited, a statue of quiet intent, for the briefest lull in the office's gentle thrum. When the junior clerk finally rose for a coffee, and the senior partner's door clicked shut, you moved. Your hand, swift and silent, plucked the errant fragment. It was no larger than your thumbnail, a mere scrap, but its surface held a distinct, almost embossed texture, unlike the smooth, generic paper of the office. And then, a symbol. A stylized, interlocking pattern, like ancient runes woven into a modern design. It was incomplete, a corner torn away, but enough remained to ignite a dangerous flicker in your mind. You had seen this before, or something hauntingly similar, in the periphery of your last failed investigation. A fleeting image on a confiscated hard drive, dismissed then as mere corporate branding. Now it resonated with a sinister gravity. This was not boilerplate. This was a mark, a sigil. You folded it carefully, tucking it into the hidden pocket of your worn leather jacket. The weight of it was minimal, yet its implications were colossal. This wasn't just a pattern of disappearances. It was a signature, a deliberate calling card. You were on the right track, undeniably. The ritualistic element was not an echo from your past, but a present, escalating danger. The cleaning crew member, the one who had lingered, was now watching you from across the room, his broom held still, his eyes devoid of any casual curiosity. They held a knowledge, a quiet assessment that sent a jolt of ice through your veins. He wasn't just observing, he was reporting. The subtle shift in his posture, the way his gaze didn't waver, confirmed it. You had been seen. The hidden operation, sophisticated and far-reaching, was no longer hidden from you, nor you from it. You had disturbed the surface, and the ripples were already reaching unseen shores. The game had changed. You were no longer merely investigating. You were now a target. The air hummed with it. a dangerous growing resonance. The whisper, that singular name scorched onto the edge of your mind, led you through the city's labyrinthine arteries to a building of polished granite and mirrored glass. Solara Holdings. You stood across the street, a phantom yourself amidst the lunch hour rush. The collar of your jacket turned up against a wind that carried the metallic tang of exhaust and the faint, unsettling scent of rain. Hours bled into one another as you watched. The ebb and flow of business, the brief flashes of faces, the precise, almost ritualistic arrival and departure of the building's occupants. You saw couriers, suited figures, and a constant, almost hypnotic hum of activity that spoke of money-changing hands, of invisible threads being woven. The shred bins, you imagined, were always churning, devouring evidence, erasing tracks. The locked safes, you knew, held the true heart of their operations. A familiar figure emerged from the building's revolving doors, clutching a briefcase with a white-knuckled grip. Your breath hitched, a sudden cold knot tightening in your chest. It was the lawyer, the one whose testimony you'd failed to secure, the one whose life had been irrevocably altered by your misstep years ago. Her face, once vibrant with a fierce, idealistic fire, was now etched with a weary resignation, the lines around her eyes deeper than you remembered. She looked older, haunted, a shadow of the woman you once knew, and a stark, living monument to your professional failure. You pushed off the cold stone wall, your legs moving before your mind could fully process the shock. She froze, her head snapping up, her eyes, once sharp and questioning, now wide with a fear that transcended mere surprise. Recognition, raw and unwelcome, flared in their depths, quickly masked by a practiced, icy composure. "Marcus Holt," he stated, his voice devoid of warmth. "A blade of ice. What are you doing here? The weight of your past failures, the case that had derailed your career, pressed down on you, heavy and suffocating. This was the witness you'd promised to protect, the one who had disappeared before you could get her on the stand, only to resurface years later, broken and unwilling to speak. Now she worked for them. For this firm. Solara Holdings, you replied, cutting to the chase, ignoring the personal history that hung thick in the air between you. It leads here. Her gaze flickered, a telltale tremor in her hand as she adjusted her grip on the briefcase. I don't know what you're talking about. Her denial was too quick, too absolute. Don't lie to me, Eleanor. Not again. Your voice was low, edged with a desperation you hadn't realized was bubbling beneath the surface. People are disappearing. The pattern is too precise. This firm, it's a nexus, isn't it? Stay away from this. You countered, your eyes scanning the street, acutely aware of the open space around you, the lack of cover. It links back to that old case, doesn't it? The one where I lost you. Her jaw tightened. The past is dead, Marcus. And some things are better left buried. What do the shred bins hide? She took a step back, her resolve faltering for a fleeting moment. They protect everything. Everyone. And if you dig too deep, they'll find you. They always do. Her gaze hardened, a finality settling over her features. Consider this my only warning. The air, already heavy, now felt charged with a new personal threat. And Eleanor, the ghost from your past, was now a reluctant gatekeeper. Her warning echoed in your ears, not as a deterrent, but as a confirmation. You were on the right path, a path that led not just to answers, but back into the very heart of your own enduring failure. The city's breath, a cold metallic sigh, still clings to your skin, a phantom touch from the stranger's passing. Her words, a whispered echo, twist through the labyrinth of your thoughts. Some shadows are best left undisturbed, Marcus. You return to the quiet chaos of your small apartment, the scattered maps and newspaper clippings mocking the emptiness of your progress. The pattern, a delicate tapestry woven from absence, flickers at the edge of your perception. Each vanished soul, a thread pulled taut, reveals a commonality, a subtle thread of influence, wealth, or power. It's not just the prominent figures, it's those connected to them, often in ways unseen by the public eye. The key, you realize, isn't in the victims themselves, but in the unseen structures that connect them. The pieces begin to click with a grim finality. This isn't about the streets, the abandoned factories, or the docks where bodies might surface. This is about the untraceable, the unseeable, the clean sweep of digital dust. Its towering presence seems to hum with secrets, a fortress of paper trails and veiled transactions. You've done your research, traced the threads of influence from the vanished individuals, and each path, however convoluted, seems to loop back to this sterile monument of legality. A faint tremor of unease runs through you. This place feels less like a business and more like a vault for stolen truths. Gaining entry is a delicate dance of deception and practiced ease. You assume the guise of a disgruntled former client, fabricating a story of missing documents with just enough detail to sound plausible, just enough frustration to deflect suspicion. The receptionist, a young professional with eyes like polished stones, directs you to a waiting area, promising a partner will be with you shortly. You nod, feigning impatience, your gaze sweeping the periphery, absorbing every detail. The waiting area is hushed, upholstered in muted tones, the air thick with the scent of expensive paper and ambition. But your focus is not on the decor. It's on the heavy reinforced door to the internal offices, the subtle hum of servers, and the glint of a camera lens in a corner. Your eyes drift to a bank of industrial-grade shred bins, their gaping mouths promising absolute annihilation of any inconvenient truth. They stand like silent sentinels, testament to the office's commitment to secrecy. A junior associate, a man with a meticulously knotted tie and an air of weary importance, finally calls your name. He leads you down a polished corridor, past offices with frosted glass, the low murmur of conversations barely audible. Your fabricated complaint is delivered with conviction, demanding to see your file. The associate, flustered, retreats to a back room, leaving you momentarily unsupervised at the junction of two corridors. This is your window. With a practiced fluidity, you pivot, not towards the partner's office, but towards a less trafficked hallway following the faint whir of machinery. You pass a cleaning cart, strategically placed, its tools momentarily obscuring a service door. A quick, almost imperceptible glance confirms your hunch. A keycard reader, but the lock itself is a standard cylinder. This is the heart of the archive, a labyrinth of metal shelves groaning under the weight of countless files. Rows of locked safes gleam dully in the dim light, their imposing facades promising impenetrable security. Your eyes dart, searching for anything out of place, any anomaly in the meticulous order. Your gaze falls upon a section marked Holt M, an old, forgotten case of your own, a small, inconsequential file you'd left behind years ago. You pull it out, the folder surprisingly thin, and tucked within, beneath the faded reports, is not your old case notes, but a single, meticulously folded sheet of paper. Unfolding it, your breath catches. It's a list. Not a list of names, but of dates, addresses, and what appear to be coded financial transactions. Each entry corresponds eerily with the timelines of the disappearances. An address, a date barely a week from now, and a description. The benefactor, legacy transfer. Beneath it, a name, a prominent city philanthropist known for his vast charitable works, a man beyond reproach. A potential next victim. A sudden, sharp click echoes from the hallway, followed by the faint scrape of a shoe. Someone is approaching. You shove the list back into the folder, sliding it back into its slot with hurried precision. The cleaning cart outside. Your heart, now a frantic drum, warns you of the imminent threat. The web has tightened, and you are caught, not as prey, but as the spider's unwitting observer. The air thickens with the unspoken promise of discovery. Her warning, rather than deterring, has sharpened your focus, honed your intent. The lead, a cryptic notation found amongst the possessions of a recently vanished district planner, had been a slim thread, easily dismissed by others. It pointed to an address, a sterile, unassuming facade nestled within a row of similar, impenetrable structures. The kind of place where secrets are not just kept, but meticulously buried. The night air bites, a crisp lament as you navigate the quiet street. No lights bleed from its windows. No hum of activity betrays its hidden purpose. It stands silent, a tomb for corporate sins. Your fingers, steady and practiced, work the lock, a delicate dance of metal against metal. Inside, the air is stale, thick with the scent of aged paper and dormant machinery. Fluorescent lights, when you coax them to life, cast a harsh, unforgiving glow, stripping the room of any warmth. Your gaze sweeps over the formidable steel doors of the locked safes, their tumblers mocking your intrusion. But the lead hadn't pointed to the obvious vaults. It had hinted at something more ephemeral, something designed to be disposed of yet retained. This isn't for paper. This is a data shredder, a digital incinerator. And where such a machine exists, its fuel, its data, must first reside. You move to a small, enclosed office, clearly that of a senior partner, judging by the minimalist decor and the imposing mahogany desk. Your eyes scan the room, searching for the hidden seam, the false panel. It's not in the desk, nor behind the framed generic art. It's in the wall, cleverly disguised as a simple access panel for network cables. Your fingers trace the faint outline, a hairline fracture in the pristine plaster. With a small, specialized tool, you pry it open. Its single indicator light blinks with a steady, hypnotic rhythm, a pulse in the heart of the dormant office. This is it. The cache. The architect's digital blueprint. Connecting your own encrypted device, you initiate the download. The progress bar crawls, each percentage point a slow, agonizing revelation. When the transfer completes, a torrent of data floods your screen. But it's the final folder, marked simply Project Chimera Phase 1, that freezes your breath in your throat. You open it. What unfurls before your eyes is not a simple list of names, nor a nefarious scheme for financial gain. It is a grand, terrifying design, an architectural schematic for the very fabric of society. Detailed reports outline the strategic acquisition of individuals, not for ransom, not for simple elimination, but for their specific skill sets, their unique intellectual contributions, their malleability. The disappeared are not victims in the traditional sense. They are components, resources, building blocks. The architect is not merely removing obstacles or silencing dissent. They are rebuilding. The disappearances are part of a systematic culling, a harvesting of specific human elements to be re-engineered or replaced, to serve as cogs in a colossal, clandestine machine. The data includes psychological profiles, genetic markers, even detailed life histories, all categorized and assigned a project value. One document, a manifest of foundational elements, lists the vanished district planner, a renowned urban architect, a leading geneticist, and a celebrated behavioral economist, among others. Their individual expertise, once a beacon of human ingenuity, is now reduced to a line item, a resource to be exploited. The scale of it all, the audacious, horrifying scope of this construction, dwarfs any conspiracy you had ever imagined. This isn't about power or money in the conventional sense. It's about designing a new world, a new order, from the ground up, with human beings as its raw material. A faint hum, then a distant click, echoes from the main corridor. The sound is subtle, easily dismissed as the building settling, but your senses are on high alert. You freeze, every nerve ending screaming a warning. Someone else is here. Or something. They are looking back. You snatch your device, disconnecting it with practiced speed, the server's light blinking innocently once more. The panel snaps shut, leaving no trace of your intrusion. The game has changed. And you, Marcus Holt, have just seen their first horrifying glimpse of what they intend to create. Here, the air hangs heavy with the scent of aged paper and expensive leather. A sterile quiet, broken only by the rhythmic hum of industrial shredders devouring secrets in the adjacent room. You move through the hushed corridors, your footsteps muted by plush carpeting, each step a deliberate act against the gnawing doubt that has become your constant companion. Marcus Holt, you are a silhouette of resolve, a man walking a tightrope stretched taut over an abyss of uncertainty. The contact, a former colleague from your brief, ill-fated stint in corporate security, awaits you in a private consultation room. You'd known him as the analyst, a man whose mind, once a labyrinth of data and patterns, now seemed to navigate the murky waters of illicit information brokering. He promised a glimpse behind the curtain, a key to the network that had consumed the vanished. Your gut, a seasoned oracle of danger, offers no comfort, only a low, thrumming unease. Yet the desperation to understand, to reclaim a semblance of control, overrides caution. He sits, a nervous twitch in his left eye, a stack of innocuous-looking folders before him. His hands, usually steady, now fidget with a polished silver pen. Marcus, he begins, his voice a low murmur. This goes deeper than you know. The names, the connections, they're everywhere. He pushes a folder across the polished mahogany table. Its cover is blank. Inside, not documents, but a single stark photograph. And in the background, partially obscured, a symbol, a stylized interlocking helix and compass. It is not the symbol you expected, not the one from the old case files, but something new, more refined, more menacing. What is this, you ask, your voice a low growl, your eyes fixed on the symbol. The analyst shifts, his gaze flickering to the heavy soundproofed door. It's their sanctuary, Marcus, their workshop. It's a blueprint for a new world, a new order. Too close. The words echo, heavy with unspoken threat. You look at the analyst, truly look at him, and see not a nervous informant, but a man trapped, a man making a choice. The analyst's face, pale moments before, now hardens into a mask of grim resignation. I had no choice, Marcus. They know everything. Your movements, your questions. They offered me an option, a future, or nothing. He nods subtly towards the door. The heavy door swings open with a soft, pneumatic hiss. Two figures, tall and unyielding, step into the room. Not enforcers, you realize with a jolt, but something more insidious. Functionaries of a vast, unseen power. The analyst avoids your gaze, his betrayal a bitter taste in your mouth. He has chosen his future, and it is built upon your demise. Marcus Holt, one of the figures says, his voice devoid of inflection. You have become a persistent anomaly. Your pursuit of the truth has exceeded acceptable parameters. He gestures towards you. It's time to cease your inquiries. You are cornered, the polished room transformed into a cage. The realization of the antagonist's reach, their infiltration into what you thought was a neutral space, is a brutal blow. This isn't just about a few powerful individuals. It's about a deeply entrenched system, one that commands loyalty, or at least absolute fear. The symbol in the photograph, the interlocking helix and compass, now burns in your mind, a brand of their ownership. Your eyes dart around the room. No obvious escape. The window is sealed, the door now blocked. But you are Marcus Holt, Not easily broken, not easily contained. The shredding room, a short distance away, holds the constant drone of machinery, a potential cover for sound. The heavy desk, a barrier. You think this stops anything? You challenge, your voice steady despite the rising adrenaline. You think silencing one man erases what's already set in motion? The figures remain impassive, but the analyst flinches. A flicker of doubt, perhaps, or regret. It's all you need. You slam the folder containing the photograph back onto the table, the sharp sound echoing in the sudden tension. In the same fluid motion, you grab the heavy, ornate letter opener from the desk, its polished blade glinting. You don't wait. You hurl the letter opener with practiced precision at the overhead light fixture. It's enough. You vault over the mahogany desk, a blur of motion towards the analyst. He cries out, startled, as you use him as a momentary shield, shoving him towards the approaching figures. The distraction buys you precious seconds. You burst through the inner door leading to the shredding room, the roar of the machines engulfing you. Metal teeth grind, devouring stacks of paper. The air is thick with the scent of ozone and shredded secrets. You don't pause. Through another door, a service exit dimly lit. You shoulder it open, bursting into a narrow concrete alleyway, the humid night air a shock against your face. The sounds of pursuit, muffled by the office walls, quickly fade behind you. They are everywhere. They control more than you imagined. The game has changed. You are no longer just investigating. You are fighting for your life. And the architect of this new order just showed you their true power. You plunge its sharpened tip into the seam of the analyst's antique desk drawer, the wood groaning a soft protest. The figures, momentarily stunned by the sudden, violent shift in your posture, hesitate. That sliver of a second is all you require. The drawer gives way with a sharp crack, revealing not a hidden compartment, but a chaotic nest of papers, a deliberate disarray. It's a feint, a misdirection. Your eyes, however, are on the analyst. The flicker you saw, the almost imperceptible tensing of a muscle in their jaw. It speaks volumes. Their gaze shifts just for an instant to a framed photograph on the wall. A cityscape, unremarkable, except for the faint, almost invisible reflection of a building in its polished glass. Not a building of power, but of periphery. An old, forgotten corner. This isn't about the past, you declare, your voice a low, gravelly current in the sudden silence. It's about the present, and the future you're all so eager to orchestrate. A chair scrapes. A figure moves. But you are faster. The sounds of pursuit are immediate, distant at first, then closer. Boots on polished marble. Shouts, sharp as shards of glass. You do not run, not in the panicked sprint of a cornered animal. Each step is a calculated gamble, each turn a practiced instinct. The building itself becomes your ally, a labyrinth you once knew intimately, now a canvas for escape. The city outside is a cacophony of sirens and streetlights, a stark contrast to the hushed menace you just left. Your face, reflected in the greasy puddles of an alleyway, is a roadmap of exhaustion and grim resolve. They hunt you, yes, but you hunt them back with a ferocity born of desperation. The analyst's fleeting glance, the reflected building, it gnaws at you. An old, nondescript structure in a forgotten district, one that once housed a small, almost anonymous legal firm specializing in offshore holdings. A place you had dismissed years ago as a dead end in a different, equally frustrating case. But now it hums with a new, insidious significance. The building is a relic, its brickwork stained by decades of urban grime, its windows like vacant eyes. This is not a place of grand statements, but of quiet, meticulous concealment. The security is rudimentary, designed more to deter casual opportunists than a determined ghost. A simple magnetic lock, an outdated alarm panel. Your fingers, calloused from years of similar work, dance across the keypad, a silent, practiced ballet. A soft click. The heavy oak door yields, sighing inward. Inside, the air is thick with the scent of dust and stale paper. You move through the reception area, past a desk piled with yellowed brochures, into the main office. Rows of filing cabinets stand like silent sentinels, their steel surfaces gleaming faintly in the dim light you conjure from your pocket torch. You start with the shred bins, not the pristine, empty ones in the main office, but the overflowing, neglected bins tucked away in a back room near a broken copier. These are the discards, the things they thought were utterly destroyed. Your fingers sift through the confetti of paper, piecing together fragments, a jigsaw of corporate jargon and numerical sequences. It's slow, painstaking work, your eyes straining in the faint glow. You turn your attention to the locked safes. There are two, both heavy, embedded in the wall behind a faded tapestry. The first is a standard combination safe, its dial worn smooth. It takes time, patience, and a deep breath. But finally, with a soft thud, the heavy door swings open. Inside, not jewels or bundles of cash, but ledgers. Thick, leather-bound books filled with meticulous handwritten entries. Dates, names. Not individuals, but corporate entities, numbered accounts, transactions in staggering sums. Your torch beam sweeps across the pages, your mind racing to connect the dots. The ritualistic pattern of the disappearances, the specific dates you've identified, they align with certain large, unexplained outflows of capital, marked simply with a cryptic symbol, a stylized raven. The second safe is smaller, older, a relic. Its lock is different, an intricate mechanism. This is where they would keep the truly sensitive information, the things too dangerous to shred, too vital to leave in plain sight. You work methodically, the letter opener from the analyst's desk now a precision tool, its tip probing, twisting, coaxing the ancient lock. Then, a final satisfying click. The small, heavy door yields. Within, nestled on a velvet lining, is a single worn leather-bound journal. No ledgers, no stacks of cash. Just this. You pull it out, the leather cool beneath your fingers. Not corporate entities, but individuals. And beside each name, a specific date mirroring the pattern of the disappearances. But at the bottom of the list, a name stands out, underlined twice, in a bolder hand. Marcus Holt. And beside it, a date. Tomorrow. The critical weakness isn't financial, not directly. They have been planning this for years, and now you have proof. The polished marble gleams beneath your frantic stride, reflecting the distorted urgency of your form. The letter opener, a silver sliver of defiance, still cools your palm. Shouts, once distant, now echo. A symphony of alarm closing in. You do not run, not truly, but move with a hunter's grace, a predator's instinct, through the labyrinthine corridors. Each turn is a calculated gamble, each shadow a potential ally or a waiting trap. The air hums with the chase, a taut wire stretched between your escape and their capture. A service stairwell, discreetly tucked behind a maintenance closet, offers a brief reprieve. You descend, the steel steps groaning underfoot, a rhythmic clang against the fading din above. The descent is a plunge into deeper silence, a temporary shroud. Below, the city breathes, oblivious to the silent war waged within its steel and glass heart. Your breath rasps, a ragged rhythm against the adrenaline's drum. The street lamps cast long, spectral fingers across the wet pavement as you emerge, a phantom blending into the urban night. A stolen vehicle, its ignition hot-wired with practiced ease, becomes your temporary sanctuary, its engine a low growl against the city's hum. No grand marquees, no ostentatious displays, just a simple, elegant logo hinting at its purpose: discretion. The security is formidable. A silent hum of cameras and motion sensors, a fortress against prying eyes. A back entrance used for deliveries presents itself, a weak point in the otherwise unyielding shell. Inside, the air is cool, sterile, carrying the faint scent of ozone and old paper. You move with purpose, a ghost in the machine, guided by instinct and the cryptic notes from the stranger you met. The office is a maze of cubicles and closed doors, each holding its own potential for revelation or dead ends. Your gaze sweeps across the pristine surfaces, the neatly aligned files, the lack of human warmth. These are not the flimsy office models, but robust machines designed to obliterate secrets into unreadable confetti. Your fingers, nimble and experienced, probe the edges of a particularly large bin, its maw still slightly ajar, a faint, metallic tang. You peer inside, the shredded paper a snowdrift of obliterated truths. But then, a flash of something more substantial, caught in the residual static, a corner of a document, not quite shredded. With meticulous care, you extract it. A single ragged edge of heavy vellum, stamped with a familiar ornate seal. The same symbol you'd found etched into the silver locket of the first disappearance. Your heart quickens, a frantic hummingbird against your ribs. This is it. This is the thread. You painstakingly piece together other fragments from the bin, a puzzle of torn words and partial dates. It's slow, agonizing work, each fragment a tiny victory. The event begins. The fragments, carefully aligned on a clear desk, begin to form a coherent narrative. Not a business schedule, but a calendar of dates, each marked with a symbol matching the ornate seal. These dates align precisely with the disappearances. But the final entry, glaringly prominent, is a date in the very near future. And next to it, a location. The old abandoned factory district by the river. A place you know well. A place that always felt like a forgotten tomb. The ritualistic pattern, the disappearances, the clandestine organization. It's all converging, and you are squarely in the crosshairs. A faint click echoes from the hallway, a sound that should not be there. Your head snaps up, every nerve suddenly alive. The stakes have not just heightened, they have become existential. The truth is unveiled, stark and terrifying. You hold the final pieces, the entire devastating plan laid bare. But now, you must not only expose them, you must survive. You are ready. The routing slip bearing your name, Marcus Holt, a chilling prophecy of asset acquisition, crumples in your grasp. The paper's edges bite into your palm, a physical manifestation of the dread unfurling within you. There is no time for the echo of past failures, no space for the ghosts that usually cling to your periphery. They want you, and you are coming for them. Each turn of the wheel is a pulse of determination, each breath a silent vow. The coordinates, a cryptic sequence gleaned from a discarded memo at the last site, lead you to the city's financial district, a towering testament to opaque dealings and hidden wealth. Here, amidst the glass and steel, logic warps, and the illicit finds sanctuary. The air here tastes of ozone and stale paper, a sterile mask over the rot beneath. Entry is a delicate dance. The lobby is a cavern of polished marble, reflecting your distorted image back at you, a phantom in the silent expanse. Footsteps echo, then fade, swallowed by the plush carpets of the upper floors. You navigate the maze of cubicles, each desk a graveyard of discarded files, the remnants of lives processed and forgotten. The rhythmic whir of industrial-grade shredders pulses from a distant room, a hungry beast devouring secrets. You follow the sound, a macabre siren call, your senses stretched taut. The room is vast, a dedicated chamber of obliteration. Towering shred bins line the walls, overflowing with ribbons of paper, each strip a fragmented memory. In the center, a figure stands, back to you, bathed in the soft glow of a monitor. Their posture is one of calm authority, a conductor overseeing a symphony of destruction. This must be the orchestrator. You're early, Marcus Holt. The voice is smooth, unhurried, cutting through the mechanical drone. It is a voice you have heard before in hushed conversations in the periphery of power, though perhaps precisely on time for the reckoning. The orchestrator turns, revealing a face composed and unnervingly serene. Not the face you expected, not a snarling villain, but a visage of calculated intellect, eyes that hold the weight of 1,000 ledgers. We anticipated your arrival, of course. Your persistence, while admirable, was always predictable. What is this? You demand, your voice rough, a stark contrast to their measured cadence. What is your plan? A faint smile plays on their lips. The plan, Marcus, is purification. A necessary culling, a realignment of the city's spirit. The disappearances, the ritualistic patterns, they were merely the prelude. The asset acquisitions, you so quaintly term them, were carefully selected nodes in a larger network. They gesture towards the monitor. Your gaze falls upon a complex schematic, a web of interconnected lines radiating from a central point. Each node is marked with a symbol, some familiar from the ritual sites. But the central point? It pulses, a red beacon overlaid with a countdown timer. The final phase, the true cleansing, begins at the stroke of midnight. A synchronized event designed to sever the old connections, to birth a new order from the ashes of the old. You finally grasp the terrifying scope of it. The assets were key figures, their removal designed to create chaos, to pave the way for this final, devastating blow. Your own name, a late addition, meant you were to be the final symbolic sacrifice, a disgraced detective whose demise would seal their triumph. Your eyes dart around the room. The shred bins, the locked safes. One stands out, glowing faintly. Central grid. You can't. You breathe, the words tasting like ash. You'll destroy everything. Only to rebuild it, Marcus, the orchestrator replies, their eyes holding yours, devoid of malice, filled only with unwavering conviction. A necessary sacrifice. And you, dear Marcus, are precisely where you need to be for the final act, an unwilling participant in the dawn of a new era. Your gaze drops to the console, to the lever marked Central Grid. It's a single, desperate chance. But the orchestrator stands between you and it. A silent sentinel, unmoving, their serenity a mask for the calculated danger that radiates from them. The countdown on the screen flashes, relentless, mocking. The choice is yours, Marcus. The city's pulse hangs by a thread, and the orchestrator's eyes gleam, waiting for your move. The digital countdown on the screen freezes, a stark red timestamp suspended in the silent air. The air itself seems to hold its breath. The low hum of the machinery suddenly a deafening drone in your ears. You stand, chest heaving, the tremor still running through your arm from the force of the lever's descent. The orchestrator, a figure of statuesque calm moments before, now turns their head, a slow, deliberate movement. Their eyes, once pools of calculated indifference, now hold a flicker, a momentary crack in the polished facade, before settling back into a chilling emptiness. No words are exchanged, no grand pronouncements. Only the silent understanding of a plan derailed, an intricate web unraveled by a single desperate act. Then, the world outside surges in. The heavy door to the chamber groans open, light spilling in like a revelation. Boots pound on metal, voices echo, sharp and urgent. Figures in tactical gear storm past you, their weapons raised, their focus absolute. You watch, numb, as the orchestrator is surrounded, their hands bound, their serene posture unbroken even in the face of capture. The lead detective, their face etched with a mix of relief and grim resolve, meets your gaze across the room. A nod, barely perceptible, passes between you. No words are needed. The unspoken weight of years, of a shared history and a recent harrowing ordeal, hangs between you. The immediate aftermath is a blur of controlled chaos. You provide your statement, your voice rough, recounting the sequence of events, the chilling meticulousness of the orchestrator's design. The lead detective listens, their expression unreadable, occasionally interjecting with a sharp, clarifying question. Other operatives move through the facility, securing data, collecting evidence, dismantling the intricate mechanisms that powered the organization's reach. The air here is thick with the scent of old paper and the metallic tang of fear. The lead detective stands beside you, their gaze sweeping across rows of filing cabinets and the ominous, gaping mouths of industrial shred bins. This is where the financial heart of the clandestine network beat, where the meticulously laundered funds flowed, where the legal framework for their audacious plan was meticulously constructed. They were thorough, the lead detective remarks, their voice low, a note of grudging respect for the enemy's cunning, but not thorough enough. You spend hours sifting through mountains of documents, your fingers stained with toner and dust. The disappearances, once isolated tragedies, coalesce into a grim pattern. Individuals with specific skill sets, unique access, or strategic influence, all meticulously selected. They weren't simply removed, they were absorbed, their expertise leveraged, their identities erased or repurposed to serve the grand design. You discover shell corporations stretching across continents, their names innocuous, their purpose sinister. You find intricate legal maneuvers designed to seize assets, to manipulate markets, to exert control over vital infrastructure. The ultimate devastating plan wasn't a single explosive event, but a slow, creeping infiltration, a silent takeover of societal pillars, culminating in a systemic collapse that would leave the organization as the sole, unchallenged power. A particular file, tucked away in a safe behind a false panel, catches your eye. It details a series of offshore accounts, untraceable, vast. But more importantly, it contains a list of directives, not from the orchestrator, but to them. The true puppeteers, the ones pulling the strings from an even deeper recess, remain elusive, their identities masked by layers of proxies and encrypted communications. The organization is a hydra, and you've only severed one head. A quiet exhaustion settles upon you, a profound weariness that seeps into your bones. Yet as you look at the piles of evidence, the undeniable proof of a catastrophic plot averted, a different sensation begins to stir. The ghost of your past failure, the gnawing regret that had haunted your every waking moment, begins to recede, not erased, but finally, mercifully, quieted. The weight of it lifts, replaced by the quiet dignity of a purpose fulfilled. The path ahead remains uncertain. The world you left behind beckons, perhaps with a different role, a different understanding. Or perhaps a new path entirely, one forged in the crucible of this harrowing journey. As you step out of the offshore law office with shred bins and locked safes, into the pale light of a new dawn, the city hums with life, unaware of the precipice it had just skirted. The fight isn't over, not truly, but for now, the air you breathe tastes of a fragile, hard-won peace.